Today on Earth Focus, are we waging a war on the future? Author Alex Steffen on rethinking human approaches to meeting today's global challenges.
My name is Alex Steffen. I'm a planetary futurist and writer. When people think about the future, they tend to think about very futuristic things. Space travel.
Start 1, 0, and liftoff.
Androids. Artificial intelligences.
What do you do for a living?
Cloning. We now know that the future is something very different than that. Instead, we're finding, of course, that we live on a single planet, one that we're understanding better and better. And the better we understand it, the more we're coming to realize how endangered it is by our systems of industrialization and development. So I think at the very moment that we're sort of leaving behind the science fictional future, we're coming to understand a much more grounded, practical, planetary future. Are we going to have a future? We'll always have a future, right? I don't believe that humanity is going to go extinct anytime in the foreseeable future. The question is, what is the quality of the future that we're building? Right now, I believe that we are not only careless about the future we're building, we're actively hostile towards it. I believe that in many ways we are waging a war on the future. That the things we are doing today, the known consequences of those things, will impoverish and endanger the people who are coming soon after us. For example, climate change, we know, is already having dramatic effects on the polar ice caps. If you were to imagine aliens coming to Earth and starting to melt our ice caps, we would take that with a lot of offense. We would be considered an act of war. And yet that is precisely what we're doing to the generations that are growing up now and following soon after. So there are these fundamental ways in which we're not taking care of the future. We are reframing our understanding of how humanity works on this planet. As part of that, we're having to let go of all sorts of ideas that we had about the way things work here. For example, the idea that there are unlimited resources. We know already that it is possible through innovation, through changed perspectives, through design, to take the same set of limited resources and do an almost infinite number of things with them. And if we can find our way to living within a single planet and taking care of the biological systems that make up that planet, and creating human systems that have some strength and endurance to them, then I think we actually gain the capacity to do almost anything. One of the real challenges with sustainability, one of the reasons it's an imperative, is that the earlier we act and the more aggressively we change, the more options we hold open. So it's not a matter of whether we have time or not in some abstract single way, right? It's a question of, will we act soon enough to maintain the widest variety of options? Because the longer it takes us to act, the more our options begin to foreclose, and the more suffering and limitation will be experienced by our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, and so on.
Airwaves, a global channel of uncompromising stories. World news, documentaries, entertainment, and culture. Link TV, connecting you to the world. For more information, visit linktv.org.